Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Once again, I'm Nev from Nev's Tech Bits. Don't worry, ma'am. I come from the internet. Spend too much time down here learning about psychology. We got to talk about the split brain situation, the experiment with Joe. Now, Joe's an individual who has epilepsy, and it was so bad that they needed to separate his, or they needed to attach his corpus callosum, I believe it's called, the major bridge from one half of the brain to the other. And it did some really crazy things. Let's talk about what it did to him. Okay, first off, it seemed to have made his life better, which is freaking wonderful. The next thing that it did is it was really interesting. Okay, so the thing about sight and brain and all that. So this eye. So let's say this eye technically sees and focuses on things over here. This eye technically sees and focuses on things over here. Now, this individual, once they detach that little piece in his brain that was right about here, once they detached that, they would take him to a screen, make him focus right in here, like right here, and then they'd put a picture of, let's say, a baby up, and then he'd draw a baby, and then maybe a square. No, sorry, I got that wrong. They would show a baby, and he would say baby. They would show a square, and he would say square. Very rudimentary things, very small things, and then they would flash it up over here, and he couldn't say what it was. He didn't know what it was, and then they gave him a pencil. They gave him a marker and they told him to draw it. And he drew like baby, square. It wasn't baby, it was something totally rudimentary, but you get the idea. You get the idea. He didn't know what he was looking at. He couldn't picture it in his brain. But when he was asked to draw it, he could draw it. He could draw it, man. He could draw it. He could see it. He couldn't fathom it in his brain, but he could draw it. Whoa. Whoa. Where does that come from? It's as if it's beautiful, as if the brain has so much in it going on that it's as if we're uncovering a sunken ancient magical city and we're figuring it out just from following different places or from cutting different spots off and seeing where things go to. That's freaking magical. That is so cool. That is so cool. Wow. Wow. I swear to God, by the end of our children's lives, we will have telepathy sold by Ma Bell. Legitimately, wow. We're eventually going to figure out why. I bet we have more answers now. I really hope that those answers aren't being hidden behind copyrights or journals. But at the same time, it's interesting that this capitalistic society seems to be one of the best for making new medication. It's the best for making new medication and also having its individuals die of overdoses from it. Let's face it. Let's face it. I wonder how the Russians do. I heard there was a clinical psychologist, Jordan Peterson, who went over to across the pond and because he needed to get over benzos. He needed to get over benzos, and the Americans told him there was no way it could happen. And then he goes over to Russia, and just like that. I shouldn't say just like that. The Russians told him he brought him here to die. Sheer force of will, man. Sheer force of will. That's interesting. That's something. Anyways, I just wanted to put that down. I really wanted to make a video about it because I feel like this is something that I might forget and that I want to collect later. Because I definitely believe that there's an interesting correlation between the demons that people write about in books, the dragons people write about in books, and simply our own bad ideas. If we are angry, are we not obsessed by the demon of anger? Though the demon of anger isn't exactly anything. Maybe heaven and hell just kind of exist in here, and our faith in it makes it exist. Hell, there is one place in the Bible where it says the kingdom of heaven is within the heart of all men. And while Christianity doesn't exactly speak for all religions, I do find that all religions seem to repeat all good things. So I have a feeling that if we take a look, we're going to find that within all religions, that's going to be a thing. I mean, there was that Monkey King that wanted to impress Buddha so much that he jumped off into the pillars of the universe and he scratched his name into it and he jumped back in front of Buddha and he's like, ha! And Buddha's like, and then one of his fingers had the monkey's thing in there, right? So I legitimately think that once we figure out this mind stuff, we're going to be able to unlock magic. Let's hack the planet, hack the brains. Let's hack this stuff. Let's get through this stuff reasonably, though. But seriously, take care of each other. It's okay to have bad ideas as long as you learn from them. It's okay to have ideas as long as you identify some ideas as bad ideas. And this is just an idea of mine, but seriously, the split brain, how does he not see it? But he knows to draw it. But somehow that goes, it's like he sees it. And it doesn't go into a place where his brain can image it, but it goes to a place where he can just draw it. What is that space between things? What is that space between things that we can use and collect and go off of? Is it the same thing that we need to destroy if we're, and this hurts to say, breaking somebody's spirit? Some would say you have to break someone's spirit in order to get them ahead in the universe, in order to have them deal with the realities of life. Many would say that we have too many women thinking that reality is a happy universe the way that Disney made it for 14-year-olds, when in reality, girls, if you're going to an after hours clubs with someone who's been getting you drunk and giving you drugs, and they continue doing that in the after hours clubs, your fate is sealed. You're taking a pipe. And if you don't believe that, then then girls, like, society should be good, but it's not. There's demons out there in people's heads, and especially if you get drunk and all that stuff. Like, I'm sorry, I'm going off on like a secondary tangent, but that place, what is that place? What is this waiting place that that it seems like we have to infiltrate, or it seems like we have to understand? There's a cache of data there. He didn't see it. His mind knew it. He could draw it. He could write it down. I need to understand this more. Anyways, that's the latest step in my October project. Please, if you know anything about this, if some of this has been proved, whatever, I'm going to be hashing this through with my AI and some people that I know. But the funny thing is, though I know therapists, you know damn well that any professional you talk to about it will be like, oh yes, I remember I've heard something about that. Can you clue me in a little more? But it seems so meaningful. Anyways, I'm going to pursue this on my own. Have a good one, folks. Take care of each other.